Hi everybody, this is my 2020 bike check because, I'm a talentless hack and I'm on the internet. So I can post stupid shit like this because, I'm allowed to because, the internet. Anyway, over the coming months I'll be posting updates on this bike because it was built with mostly spare parts. It was built with mostly spare parts. The only new parts really are the frame and technically the rear wheel. I'll get into that because that's really special, that one. The frame is the brand new 2020, or is it 2021 now? I don't know how the model years work in BMX. Kink backwoods frame. This guy's a 21.5 top tube because I am 2 meters tall, so I need a big bike. And people always give me shit for running BMX. On to the next part. Oh yeah, so the reason why it's in pieces right now, I built it up with an Odyssey conical headset, and it pushed the stem up to about here. So the stem wasn't holding on for, to too much. And just yesterday it decided it wanted to break up with my forks. And I did, the classic big boy are you okay spinal. If you know Scotty Kramer's channel, you know what I'm talking about. So today I had to modify my forks because I ripped the whole goddamn cap right off and stripped the threads. So I got this wacky little massive bolt that I tapped new threads for, and I was able to save the original spacer for my stem. These are, I don't know if they actually are, because like this steer tube is way shorter than a normal steer tube now. But I'm pretty sure these are Colt Sect IV forks. I don't know for a fact. Who knows? They could be some generic piece of shit because I pulled them off of a Cult Devotion complete bike that I had once upon a time. That's what most of these parts actually came off of. On to the next part. The stem. Again, I'm not entirely sure. It looks a lot like a Salvation Forged stem by Cult. This is version 3 from the 2018 Devotion Complete bike. These are my special no bar out bent 4-piece shitty Cult bars. I bent these bars about 3 weeks after getting the complete bike that these were originally installed on. But they came with these really good grips, and they turned out to be Sean Ricani's signature Cult grips. They only just started tearing away on me like this month or last month, and I'd been running these since 2018, and you know what, I might buy another set, but for right now I'm switching up to ODI long necks, and there's going to be a Scotty Kramer Snafu Jackson handlebar set on that right away. I just got to get them from the depot. UPS has been screwing me over on that. On to the next thing. Eclaw sniper lever. I really like it. It's a good 1 or 2 finger lever. People are getting back into the brakes game. I kind of never left, except for a short stint after my Devotion was stolen from me, and I had to run my old ass Haro for a while. The cable is something I really like, but I'll never be able to get again new. 1664 BMX. Rest in peace 1664. I also have their cranks. Linear red cable. This is my last 1664 cable. As soon as this breaks, I'm out. I don't have any left. I cleaned 3 right out of all their 1664 cables about 2 years ago, and they were pretty mad at me for that. But whatever. This cable is hooked up to a brand new set of Odyssey Mitsubishi Lancer Evo. Oh, sorry, no, they're not Mitsubishi Lancer Evo. I'm just used to calling it Mitsubishi Lancer. Focus, you piece of shit phone. Okay, it doesn't want to focus, but these are the Odyssey Evo 2.5. I was running a Claw Talons before and I really liked them, but I like the cable hanger on these Odysseys a little bit more. It's just a better design, and they actually grab really well. I opted for red ghost pads instead of the clear pads that everybody runs because I have tinnitus and these don't squeal as loud, but they still grab really well. So honestly, if you don't like the squealing but you still want your brakes to grab really well, Odyssey ghost pads in red is your happy medium. Seat and seat tube came off the Devotion. Seat tube, whatever the hell Cult put on. The seat, actually, I discovered is the Odyssey Occult Pivotal seat. Let's see if I can get this thing. There we go. And it's holding together pretty well. Front wheel, again, it's off the Devotion Complete bike, so it's just some generic piece of garbage that I will replace later on in the future. It's very low on the list of priorities though. On the front wheel and on the non-drive side of the rear wheel, I have G-Sport Gland universal hub guards. They're big, they're hard, they're sturdy, they handle all kinds of abuse that I have yet to throw at it. Cult butter pegs in 4.5 inch, all 4 corners, because you know I used to do switch, but now I don't do it at all. There's a reason for that, but nobody wants to hear about it. I suck and I lost everything, and I'm trying to slowly get it back. One of the last and most important things here is this wheel here. Now this is a very special wheel. Not so much the rim, it is a BSD Aero Pro rim. I don't know jack about BSD to be honest with you, but this hub here, this is the Free Night Planetary Coaster Hub. It's the only free coaster of its kind, and it's also the only hub that has a genuine break-in cycle. For those of you that work in the automotive and heavy duty industry, you know what the hell a break-in cycle is. For those of you who don't, that just means you have to ride this thing for a while before you can use it as an actual free coaster. Because how it works is it cassettes, as you can hear. It's very not loud like a profile or anything like that, and then it free coasts immediately. Like there's no skirting around to get this hub to disengage, because it's running on a planetary gear set and it's all metal components. There's none of that plastic nylon garbage. There's no like weird snowmobile style clutch thing where you have like all this slack before it finally engages. No, this thing engages as soon as it starts rolling forward and disengages as soon as it starts rolling backwards. You don't have to fiddle fuck around with this. You just ride it. You just ride it, and it's so good. It's the best free coaster I've ever rode. I will never ever run anything other than this. I might go back to cassettes because really I suck at fakies anyway. And I just want to blow some money on some profile hubs. Next most important part on this bike, 1664 good old cranks in 175 millimeter. I bought these crank arms about 6 years ago for the old Haro. It's got a 19 millimeter spindle, and if I'm being honest, guys, these are the best 19 mil cranks I've ever run. And I'm very sad that 1664 isn't around anymore, because like I had Odyssey caliber cranks, and within a month all the paint was rubbed right off. Like everything was gone. It was like you could see the metal underneath it already. And these 19 mil cranks that are supposed to be weaker and shittier are holding up to the massive amounts of abuse I'm putting them through, because I still do burly drops with this bike. I'm capable of some things. And these cranks are holding up just as well as the Odyssey, so I'm only changing these out because I do want to resurrect that Haro again. I love that bike. I've had it since I was a kid. There's a lot of story behind it. Connected to those crank arms are Demolition Trooper pedals in black and white swirl. And it turns out they were modeled after, you know, stormtroopers. I didn't notice that from Star Wars. And then I saw the box, which is right here. And there's a little stormtrooper helmet there. If this garbage phone could, you know, focus. But it can't focus. Driveline, drivetrain, however you want to call it. Snafu Jackson sprocket, spline drive. I am never going to Boss drive ever again. Spline drive is the best. Don't ever get anything other than spline drive. You'll have a much better time with the spline drive. And Shadow Conspiracy Interlock Supreme chain. This chain is the best. Like, just bar none the best. I swapped out the original chain on the Cult Devotion for one of these, and my bunny hops went up a full foot just from changing up this chain. I don't know what the hell like difference it made, just because it's a half link. I guess there's less, I don't know, man. For me to explain this, I'd have to start talking in car jargon and start talking about how drive lines work in cars in order for me to explain this to you. But let's just say you get way more responsiveness out of this half link chain than a standard 510 chain. It's just a much better chain, and it's strong as hell. I've broken a lot of 510 chains in my day, but I've never broken a Shadow chain, and I ran the V2 and the Supreme chain, and they're both going hard right now. Fantastic chain. I wouldn't recommend anything else other than maybe the Odyssey keychain, I think is it called, but they don't make that chain anymore. And I don't know why, because that was really popular with the riders that don't like operating with a chain breaker. Yeah. Oh yeah. And my driver's side hub guard, Cinema VR overguard. Who cares about that stupid shit? Anyway, that's my bike check. And who knows, I might be able to get good again. We'll find out. We'll get good, Dark Souls 3 style. Oh yeah, my Instagram is I Love Cars More Than People. I'm slightly more active on there than I am on YouTube, because I don't take the internet seriously. And yeah, enjoy.